So I showed up to a job site once where the demo was half done and the tile guy was already there, ready to start. The only problem was nobody told the plumber he needed to rough in before the tile could go in. So now the tile guy's standing around, the client's frustrated, the job is behind schedule, and we're not even through the first week, right? So here's the thing. This wasn't a subcontractor problem. This was a sequencing problem, a communication problem. It's one that I see far too often when I talk to, construction business owners, the ones that are in Structur Software. Sometimes we'll chat and we talk about some of these things, and most delays are not about weather or labor, but they're about the contractor and the gaps inside of their process. And so, by the way, if you're new here and you don't know who I am, my name is Jesse Lane. I've been in construction for a couple decades, and I've built the all-in-one platform for contractors. It's a software that does everything your construction business needs. It's not just a schedule tool, but it's everything else your construction business needs, from tracking your leads to closing out your projects to building out your company operations. So definitely check out Structur.com or the little link in the description or even the first comment below and check it out. I think it'll rock your socks. So these avoidable delays in contractors' businesses kill productivity, they eat profit, and they keep GCs and whatever types of contractors stuck reacting instead of leading their business, right? So in this video, I just want to quickly break down a couple key reasons why your jobs are getting delayed and what you can do about it to get things back on track. So like when the schedule looks good, but it's still falling apart. Most contractors schedule projects like a calendar, start date, sub A, sub B, wrap it up, right? But construction isn't necessarily linear. It can be very conditional. Just because drywall is scheduled for Monday doesn't mean the insulation inspection has passed, right? And so you need to make sure to set dependencies. And just because the flooring is next doesn't mean the cabinets are in or stuff like that. So you have these scheduling issues and suddenly everything's behind. So the real problem isn't your trade schedule, it's the prep steps that no one accounted for beforehand, right? So it's best to build your schedules in a sequencing map. Like what has to happen before each trade shows up? Who's responsible for making sure that stuff actually happens? And what approvals or inspections or materials have to be done first? You could think of it kind of like dominoes. If you knock one over too soon or miss one entirely, nothing falls the way it's supposed to. And that's like the order of construction sequencing. It's so important. So make sure to build your construction schedules. I like Gantt chart, like within Structur, for example, where each task is linked with dependencies so nothing gets scheduled before the prep work is completed, right? And we can see clearly on the Gantt chart schedule that if this doesn't happen, then this can't happen, right? And that one shift stops projects from derailing on day 3, right? So here's a little action step for you. Pull your last job schedule, highlight every time that a sub had to reschedule and what problems you might have run into, then ask what was missed before they showed up. That's your clue. Then you want to build the prep task into your next job site schedule and add that into your Structur template. If you're liking this video, click the thumbs up and keep watching because it ain't over. The next thing is if everyone owns it, then no one does it. There's an old saying that says if 2 men are tasked with feeding a horse, they're going to kill it because either it's going to be overfed or it's not going to get fed at all because, unless they communicate. And the thing is, scenarios like the construction one that I shared earlier usually don't come from bad intentions. They come from bad assumptions. Everyone thought that someone else handled it. And you've probably have heard stuff like this before. I thought you were calling the inspection in. Wait, weren't you the one confirming the trim package delivery? Wait, no one told the client about the cabinet delay? It's the classic case of shared responsibility becoming nobody's responsibility. And on a busy job site, that's how critical details quickly slip through the cracks. And the fix is simple, but very powerful. Every task needs an owner. It's not the team, right? It's not the office or it's not somebody. We need a name, a face, a deadline. This is baked into your process, right? Every task gets assigned to one person with a due date, with reminders and dependencies if needed. That means when you open the dashboard, there's no confusion, right? When you look at all of your tasks, you know exactly who's doing what, who's ordering materials. It's right there. Who's talking to the architect? It's assigned. Who's confirming all the punch list items? It's scheduled out. And when ownership is clear, accountability follows. So here's a little action step for you. Take this week and take one project that you've got running and review the task list. Find maybe 3 things that you don't have a clearly assigned owner, and then fix that. Assign someone. You'll be surprised at how much more smooth things move when everyone knows exactly what they're on the hook for because they're the only one responsible. So if it doesn't happen, they know it's their fault. The next thing is scattered job info slows everything down. So even when the schedule is solid and everyone knows their role, there's still one more thing that can kill momentum pretty quick. Nobody can find the information information that they need. I can't tell you how many jobs that have been stalled because someone couldn't remember if the tile was 6x6 or 12x24, or where the updated drawings were saved, or the cabinet guy texts the PM, but the PM calls the office and the office checks the whiteboard, and then the superintendent checks the spreadsheet, and meanwhile, nothing's happening on site. So this kind of chaos is exactly what happens when information is scattered across group texts, emails, paper folders, whiteboards, and maybe one guy's head, maybe even you as the business owner, right? So if your crew has to call 3 different people to get a straight answer, you've got a bottleneck problem. And here's the fix. Centralize everything that matters. RFIs, selections, schedules, punch list items, tasks, photos, your daily logs, your budget, everything like that, right? So if a sub forgets the cabinet finish, they don't need to call you or even the project manager. They can just go log into Structure and check it for themselves. So ask your team this week, if I wasn't around, where would you or the team find the answers on this project or this process or anything across the company? If the answer is, well, I don't know, I just call you, then it's time to build out your information hub and make sure you have everything, set up in a platform like Structure. You want your team to be able to self-serve as much as possible. It's like going to Target and doing a self-checkout. You need a whole lot less staff, when everything is a little bit more self-serve, but you need to set up the system for that to happen. You need to build the machine. So, because you don't want everything to stall out when you're not there, and you don't want to be the one stuck answering the same questions 5 times a day. So next is finishing strong by staying ahead. So let's connect some dots here. Scattered information slows you down, but reacting late is what really kills momentum. I see way too many contractors running in firefighter mode and no one's looking ahead. Everyone's solving problems after they've already cost them time and money. That's why I'd highly recommend doing a simple 2-week look ahead, right? What's coming up on the schedule? Are materials ordered and are they confirmed? Are the subs already lined up and committed and subcontracts in place? Are there permits pulled and inspections that are coming up that might be at risk of holding us up, and how are we going to get around them? So looking ahead can really set you apart. And then most jobs fall apart just in that last 10%. The punch list, the change request, the final invoicing, it all can get a little bit sloppy because you're kind of starting your next projects and stuff like that, and the team has kind of mentally moved on. But that's where your closeout checklist comes in. But that's where you can really shine, and I'd recommend having a closeout checklist across each department, so each department knows exactly the list of items that happen at closeout. And really, you want a checklist across every phase of your project. And you can check out some of the templates we have inside Structure for different types of projects. If you're a new home builder or a commercial tenant improvement contractor or a commercial ground up contractor or a custom home builder, you can see a couple different project phase checklists that include, per inspection, and also a closeout checklist as well. That hopefully it helps get you started. So definitely make a habit as much as possible to use checklists, for example, across your company per phases of the project, even from the pre-construction to the phases of each inspection to the closeout. So most project delays don't come from bad weather or flaky subs, although that it definitely is a variable, but most of the time they come from internal stuff like missed handoffs, unclear roles, scattered information, and no clear processes to follow. So if you spend the time to fix that, your jobs will run smoother, your teams are going to take more ownership, and you'll finally stop being the guy who has to answer every single question. So if you are interested in learning a little bit more about Structure and getting started completely for free, then just go to structure.com or check out the link in the description and the first comment. So appreciate you watching my YouTube videos. Hope they are valuable for you, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.